right, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Sunday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, and Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Drew in here. Well, he'll ask why Drew isn't in here sometimes, but I forget him. So I move him over there because the real Drew comes in and takes that sign and that thing and throws them on the ground and bends them all up. So I move him out of the way so he doesn't just terrorize the whole room. All right. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. I'm all out of sorts this morning, y'all. Plug this thing in. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. Like the page, share the post. YouTube, smash that like button. Let's charge this thing. There we go. All right. So, Championship Saturday is come and gone. And boy, were there some surprises. There always are. There's always at least one. And we got two on Saturday. So Georgia, their perfect season bid is over because shame on any of us. Excuse me. Shame on any of us for shame on any of us for ever doubting Nick Saban, because when he's an underdog, he tends to just wreck teams. That's 3 times in a row now that Nick's been an underdog. The last 3 times he's been an underdog, they've won by double digits, all 3 times. So, my one concern with Georgia, and I've said it all year, is Stetson Bennett really the guy? You know, is Stetson Bennett the guy to get it done? And he's not. You watch him play, it's very clear. He's not the guy. So, anyway. So Georgia wins. Georgia loses. Bama wins. The other upset of the day, Michigan pounding Iowa, 42-3. Incredible performance by Michigan, who just, they've proven it. They deserve to be there. Houston and Cincinnati. Cincinnati wins to move to 13-0. So because of And the Bama-Georgia result was devastating to Cincinnati because that means both Bama and Georgia will be in. And the Michigan win means Michigan will be in. So Cincinnati was basically a yard away from having its playoff hopes dashed. But on the final play of the game, because Oklahoma State had 4 tries from the 1 and decided to throw a pass and go wide instead of just like quarterback sneaking 4 times, Baylor beats Cincinnati 21-16. Congrats to Dave Aranda, which means Oklahoma State's out. Could an 11-2 Baylor team jump Cincinnati? Probably not. They're probably not going to go from 9 to in the playoff. So you're probably going to have number 1 Michigan, number 2 Alabama, number 3 Georgia, and number 4 Cincinnati. So you'll have Michigan, Cincinnati, and Alabama, Georgia, which I hope really we don't see. So I would actually prefer, because of Alabama's emphatic win over Georgia, we see Alabama number 1. I think Alabama 1, Michigan 2, Georgia 3, Cincinnati 4. Means you get Alabama, Cincinnati in the first round. And for the first time in my life, I would cheer for Alabama. I would cheer for Alabama to rout Cincinnati, to beat them by 50. Like an embarrassing beatdown. And if that's what it would take, so we never have to have the group of 5 conversation again, I'd be okay with it. And then Pitt blew out Wake Forest. So good for them. Okay. Oh, by the way, Cali Bears beat the Blue Jays 14-10 at Yeoman. A lot of defense in that game, but there were a lot of Blue Jay fans that left really unhappy, and among them, Gordy Rush. Ha! Didn't even bother to come see me at the stadium. Whatever. Their exuberance was really cute, though. Jesuits' exuberance. Yeah, I mean, look, they just hadn't been there before. You know what I mean? It's just really cute to see how excited they were to be there. Okay. Good morning. Now let's say some good mornings here. Dang it. Sorry. I'm trying to level out this shot. It's just bothering me. Okay. All right, Dane Bergeron, good morning. Am I still in timeout? Why were you in timeout, Dane? Jimmy Babin, Brandon Atchison. Hey, babe. JT Daniels looking checked out of Georgia. I can't believe JT Daniels didn't play this year. I cannot believe they went with Stetson Bennett over JT Daniels. Lenny Rodri, go Bears. Kyle Taylor, good morning. Tim Casalot, good morning. Joshua Mayu, good morning. Thoughts on Tommy's departure? Talked about it yesterday. I mean, new coach has a right to, to bring in whoever he wants. My feeling on it, I think Tommy Moffitt's a great man. Tommy, his wife Jill, their 3 boys. I've got to know them well, candidly. Just all 3 boys have gone to Catholic. Clay and Aaron graduated. Of course, Clay pitched at LSU. Aaron played football at LSU. Brady, their youngest, is a junior at Catholic right now. So I know the family well, and they're amazing people. They've always been classy and super nice to me. So I just think the world of all of the whole Moffitt family. It's in a 20-year run in one place is incredible. So, and I did see Coach Moffitt the game last night. So got to chat with him for a minute. But I don't know what's going to be next for him. But it's disappointing, obviously, and the outpouring from so many former coaches and players tells you what he's meant to so many people. You stay one place 21 years, it's going to go that way, right? Yeah, man, I don't know what else to say. We'll see who Brian Kelly hires. And my understanding is that the person he's targeting maybe has never been a head strength and conditioning coach. So, God, that person will have a lot to prove, man. A lot to prove. Blaine Smith, Kiffin got an extension. Kiffin has had that extension on his desk for about a month now. And he didn't sign it because he was really holding out hope to get in the mix at LSU or Florida. I'm telling you, he wants out of Ole Miss, and I think he's just realizing, he ain't gonna get it. Brandon Atchison, what's going on? Time for the Catholic High Fight song. Chuck Sanchez, what's up, Chuck? Get it? Up, Chuck. Brittany Della Houssaye, Todd Harris, good morning. I wonder if that's Todd Harris. No, that's not. That's definitely not Todd Harris, the LSU safety. That's Todd Harris, who's retired from the United States Air Force. Thank you for service, Todd Harris. Sean Berthelot, Bama will be number 1. You could book that. They should be. I mean, I'm okay with it. I mean, you go and blow out Georgia the way they did. I'm good with that. Steven Smith, no matter the order, Georgia, Michigan, Bama, Cincinnati. Well, the only way to do it would be, you're not going to drop Michigan after their win, right? You're going to drop them to 4. So I guess you could have Georgia 4 and Michigan 1, but hey, buddy. Is Gordy still crying? So what if Cincy wins? Greg, they're not going to win. Are you kidding me? Like, we've seen this movie before. How many times do we have to see this movie? Like, Cincinnati is not going to win. Cincinnati's going to play Alabama, and Bama's going to beat them by 30. Because that's, like, what are we talking about here? Cincinnati's most impressive win this year is sludging past an okay Notre Dame team. Come on. Bob Poole, Matt Leonard. What's going on? Matt Rudiger. Jesuits been there before, won the whole thing in 2014. Oh, well, that's cute. Okay, good. Matt Mayon, good morning. Kyle Allen, looks like Kirby can't beat the teams either. Well, that's the thing, Kyle. It's not, because some people like were messaging me, can we just admit Kirby's not a good coach? No, his team was 12-0 or 12-0 this year and dominant and had a great year. He's a really good coach. He's built a great program. He can't beat Nick Saban. Guess what? Nobody can beat Nick Saban. What's your point? Like, if that's the standard by which you were judged, then everybody sucks, John Voorhees, Coach O's been in a couple of high school games. What's up with that? Yeah, he was at Ponchatoula Friday. He was at the Catholic game last night. I talked to the guy who stood right next to him for the whole game last night, and just loves high school football. Just loves football. And for the Ponchatoula game, O is really good friends with Hank Tierney, the Ponchatoula coach who had that was his 300th win. So that's why I was there for that. Matt, thoughts on Dan Mullen as OC? I don't like it. I mean, it would be fine, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think Mullen's going to get a head coaching job somewhere. Let's see, YouTube. Excuse me. Chris Elaine, what's up? Joey Vincent, Rapping Batches, Merrick Mathern, Grant Campbell, Bill Galligan, Will Davis, good morning. Alex Barnes, I'm smashing, good morning. John Sager in the Atlanta airport, bunch of angry Georgia fans. Well, I mean, decision you made to go with Stetson Bennett. I mean, the defense gave 41 points, but I mean, let's see. Matthew Vincent, morning, Matt. ULL running back coach Jabbar Jalouk would be a perfect candidate to replace Mickey Joseph. Yeah, I don't think they're going to go that direction. Remember, Jabbar was already on staff once. He was on staff under Les. That's supposed to be the Georgia receivers coach. It's Cortez Hankton is his name. Cortez Hankton, who's from New Orleans, played at St. Aug, went to Texas Southern, played in the NFL from 03 to 2011. Well, no, I'm sorry. From 03 to 08, and then played for the New York Sentinels, the Florida Tuskers, and the UFL, and the Virginia Destroyers in the UFL. And he's coached at Dartmouth, Vanderbilt, and now Georgia. So keep an eye on Cortez Hankton. James Corwin, what's up? Morning, Matt. CHS Champs, 83 grad. Come on and fight, all you Bruins, and triumph on the field. Big Bruin cohorts are cheering, for the Bears will never yield. This day we're all out for victory, no matter what the cost, 'cause we'll fight forever till that last white line is crossed. Yeah. Just for you, Gordy. John Sager, good morning. Kyle Milliken, good morning. Cameron O'Quinn. Can't count old Nick out. Yeah. I like Bam in the points. Thought George would get it done. Alas, no go. Greg T, Kirk Taylor, Kevin Cloud, Andrew Repass. Morning. Surprised Brian Kelly let Mickey walk. Well, no. This is how this went down, Andrew. I mean, I tell you, Nebraska offered Mickey Joseph about $100,000 raise. And Brian Kelly told him that he'd be evaluated at the end of the bowl game. And Mickey, although he was likely to be retained, just decided he couldn't take a chance for his family and everything. So it's why you have to make staff decisions quickly. Because if you wait until the end of bowl games, like it's same thing in recruiting, right? It's why guys want to sign so they know they have their spot. Because if you wait, you may not have spots fill up and there's nowhere to go. Same thing with coaches. If you, let's say Mickey Joseph stays for the bowl game, and let's say Mickey Joseph stays for the bowl game, and then they decide not to retain him. Well, where does he go? There may not be an opportunity like Nebraska to make more money than he's making right now. Johnson Jefferson. Hey, Morning Scone is a family-friendly show, so we're not gonna curse on Morning Scone. Damon Hindenburg, morning, Matt. Watched Brian Kelly College Game Day interview. Very impressed. Handled tough questions with tact. Not used to hearing that. I did not hear it, so I'll have to go back and watch it. T-Bob for strength coach. Greg T. Brett Murphy's latest bowl prediction is LSU Kansas State in the Texas Bowl. Makes sense. I mean, Texas Bowl's in Houston. LSU alumni base in Houston. That makes sense. Houston, Texas Bowl, Birmingham Bowl are the ones that I've heard most commonly. Trivia Carter, good morning. James Corwin, Bama finally played up to their potential. Flawless game. They played close to this next game's champs again. Yeah, can they replicate it? We'll see. Or are they more likely to play like they did against LSU, Arkansas, Auburn, the last 3 games of the season? You only play your best game of the year once. Can they play close to that level? We'll see. Kirk Taylor, Iowa losing means my father-in-law is so sad. Wife wasn't too happy either. Well, Iowa didn't really have much of a chance in that game. Bama, Michigan, Georgia, Baylor. No, Baylor's not going to get in, man. It's going to be an undefeated Cincinnati. Jonathan Martin, morning, first day in Facebook jail. Okay, Jonathan, welcome to YouTube. Bill asked to sing the Brother Martin fight song. No, Bill, I'm not going to do that. Today's the day that's all about Catholic High, the state champions. Respect to Brother Martin, so my dad went. Love the school, the fellow brothers, Sacred Heart School, but not today. Today is about the Bears. Where are we? Cameron Oakwin, Georgia should not be in. Cameron, that's not really a smart thing. I mean, if you're putting in either the 4 best or 4 most deserving, Georgia is clearly one of the 4 best teams in the country. And at 12-1, they're clearly among the most deserving. There's only 3 one-loss teams in college football. So, well, let me rephrase. There's 4 because of UTSA. But, I mean, they're getting in. And they deserve to be in. Let's see. Dat Cajun, what's up? Joe Delmonico. Now, Joe, that I can do.
Need a roof? Call someone you know. Scone and Terrio. All you need is HUDCO. Call HUDCO Roofing. 364-1007.
All right. Irfan Sayyad. Kirk Taylor, since he's done all that is required to need to get in, give me an 8-10 team playoff. Now, Kirk, I absolutely, completely, 100% reject the notion that Cincinnati has done all that is required. That is a illogical, stupid thought, because you do not get to play the 90th strength of schedule and tell me that you deserve a playoff shot. How many teams? This is the question. This is the legitimate question. How many teams, if they played this schedule, could go 12-0 against it? Miami of Ohio, Murray State, Indiana, Notre Dame, Temple, Central Florida, Navy, Tulane, Tulsa, South Florida, SMU, East Carolina, Houston. How many teams could go undefeated against that schedule? That is the point. You do not get to go shoot 100% from the layup line and say, look, we never missed a shot. Step back to the 3-point line and tell me if you go 12 for 12. No way. No way. Let them in. Let them in and let them get absolutely housed. Please. Put Bama number 1, Cincinnati number 4, and let Cincinnati go get absolutely slaughtered in that game so we never have to hear this crap again. Stu 3, all year local radio in Atlanta has been touting Georgia as the best defense in college football in 20 years. Glad they got steamrolled. Georgia's, well, I know it was obvious yesterday, their big shortcoming is in their secondary. I mean, when, they lost 3 starters in their secondary from last year, all guys in the NFL. I mean, and Bam exposed it. Fitness, once again, no conference game cost Notre Dame, no doubt. It did. No conference championship is going to cost Notre Dame. But enjoy that NBC contract. Yeah, Danny said I'd rather Georgia, Bama in the semis than a possibility of them in the finals. I'm with you, Danny. I don't think we're going to see it in the semis, though. We'll see. I think Bama will be 1. I mean, they could go Bama 1, Georgia 2. They could. Michigan 3, but I don't think they're going to drop Michigan after yesterday. Matt Plavidal, more to Matt DeZellis, you still want Pete Golding. Pete Golding is from Hammond, from the Ron Roberts tree. It would be really nice to take a coordinator away from Alabama. I don't know, though. I don't know. Alex Barnes, I'm from New Orleans. Jesuits hated by everyone who doesn't go there, so it was awesome to see. That's kind of like Catholic in Baton Rouge. So, but it was very nice to be Jesuit. Eric Campbell, Cannon Bowling, has the fake slide been mentioned? Good question. No, not yet. So for those that missed it, Kenny Pickett from Pitt was rolling right, and he took off, and he acted like he was going to slide, and the defender pulled up, and then Pickett didn't slide, and then kept going and scored. And I'm going to tell you, man, that's dangerous because, I mean, the danger in there is now if you're a defender, you can't let up. So you're begging for more targeting calls now. I mean, it has to be, that has to be a penalty on Kenny Pickett, because if you start to let up and like you're going to slide and the defender lets up, I mean, anyway. Joey Cornett, Matt, any word on how much Brian Kelly would be involved with the bowl game? 0. Brad Davis is the interim coach and should be. I'm going to tell you all this too. Keep an eye on this, y'all. We'll find out LSU's bowl destination today, but I really think LSU's numbers could end up being a problem for the bowl game. They were already short coming into the season. They had a number of season-ending injuries. I think you will have bowl game opt-outs, from what I understand. And you always have the potential of academic issues this time of year as well. So, keep an eye on that. Joe Sabatini, Buford Morris, bought tickets to the Independence Bowl on a hope and a prayer. It looks like I'll be watching BYU versus Podunk U. Jerry thought you stopped by the Frost Stop for beer. So Jerry, I ended up not getting there till late, man. So I was a chauffeur last night. So my niece Reese is a freshman at the academy, and she and a couple of her friends wanted to go to the game. I was already going, so I drove them down there. So we left Baton Rouge at 4:30, thinking I'd have enough time to get down there and maybe hang out before, but traffic around Ullman was just brutal. By the time there was traffic on the spillway because of a stalled vehicle, and then there was the traffic around Ullman trying to park was brutal. So anyway, I walked into the stadium like 5 minutes to 7. Daniel Lawrence, the HUD code jingle doesn't get old. Love it. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate that. Kenny Brazan, what's up, Kenny? What do you think about the split in the high school playoffs? Time to put the schools back together. Kenny, I hate the split. It should have never happened. It's a bunch of adults all up in their feelings who are trying to wreck it for the kids. The kids are the only ones that get hurt by it. But and how about this? The executive director of the LHSAA, Mr. Eddie Bonine. How about this? You would think that if you're the executive director of the LHSAA, that you would be present at your organization's preeminent event, the Division I State Football Championship game, between two of the largest schools in the LHSAA. You would think that Mr. Bonine would in fact be present at that game, wouldn't you? In the same way that Greg Sankey's present at the SEC championship game. Hey, Lenny just honked. You would think that, now wouldn't you? However, he wasn't. He sent some lackey from his office. I don't want to say that because that's probably discrediting to whoever it was that he sent to hand out the trophy instead. And I'm sure Mr. Bonine had a great explanation for not being there yesterday. But I'm going to go ahead and assume that part of that reason is because he didn't want to be photographed handing Catholic High a trophy after robbing them of their last two. I'm going to behave. I'm not going to go down that road again. I'll take the higher road because, well, I'm not going to say anymore. But is curious, isn't it? When the executive director of the LHSAA no-shows the Division I State Football Championship game. My guess is he'll be at all the championship games in the Dome next weekend, and all of the other. Just a hunch. Guy's a coward, y'all. He's a coward, and they need to get him out of here ASAP. Hire someone that has even a modicum of respect from the principals to be able to unify the sport again, unify the LHSAA again. Patrick Cason, Matt, hoping to see an LSU doubleheader in Shreveport. That would be cool. And LSU basketball plays in Shreveport against Louisiana Tech or in Ruston against Louisiana Tech. Or no, actually, it's in Shreveport the same day of the Independence Bowl. So that would be really cool. Chris Anthony, all I want to know is LSU bowl game going to be close to Louisiana or in Louisiana? Yes, I mean it's the Texas Bowl in Houston, the Birmingham Bowl are the two that I've heard most prominently. So keep in mind, for those that don't know how it goes, there are 13 SEC bowl eligible teams, and there are only 10 bowl tie-ins. So there are going to be teams that make a bowl game that aren't part of the SEC bowl structure. So if LSU doesn't end up in the Texas Bowl or the Birmingham Bowl, the Independence Bowl would make sense. Because Conference USA, I don't think, is sending a team. So it'd be BYU, LSU in that game, potentially. Glenn Clark, Saban's rat poison comment last night was one of his all-time top 3. I didn't see it, but that Bama being an underdog was all the chum in the water that dude needed. Troy Fuselier, happy played out the way it did. Didn't want Notre Dame to get in. Have the national media give negative attention to Brian Kelly for leaving a playoff team. That makes sense, Troy. Let's see. Sheldon, Mark Fleming, any talk on coordinators? Yeah, I've told you all, OC, I've heard Levy, Briles, and What do I keep blanking? Tulane. Chip Long. So those are the 3 I keep hearing. And I do think you'll have an answer really soon. Clayton Knight, did Notre Dame apply to be in the ACC? No, Clayton, they're in the ACC in every sport except football. They want to maintain football independence. But they have a weird deal with the ACC where they play 3 or 4 ACC games per year, like on a rotating basis. Notre Dame hire makes me think of Mike Archer, never a head coach, but who was the players won over under 5 years. I mean, John, there's some, comp there. The other you could say is that's also Lincoln Riley, who was in his mid-30s and had never been a head coach and was super popular and was the coordinator that got elevated. I mean, it's worked both ways. Slee Sue, greetings from Indiana. Lots of Notre Dame tears over here. Go Tigers. Lawrence Corbin, morning, Matt. Bama, Michigan, Georgia, Cincinnati. I think that's how it'll go, Lawrence. Lenny Moss, Clayton Knight. Don't like the trend of opting out of bowl games. Clayton, honestly, I don't care. I'm not gonna criticize a player. I mean, the bowl structure is set up as nothing but a money grab. And if you have an NFL future and you want to just start getting ready for your NFL future, I don't blame them. And if they want to play, good for them too. I don't blame them. I would rather an expanded playoff where you are incentivizing these guys to play because they have a chance to play for a championship. So give me an expanded playoff. David Constant, what's up? Jared Scott, JT Daniel should enter the transfer portal. I'm sure Georgia has some big-time recruit coming in. Signed one last year, too. Tyler Alexander, what's up? Do you think Kelly's focusing more on recruits or coaches right now? Both. Haven't heard much other than Moffitt, so I was curious. Well, Mickey Joseph's out as well. And I know he started meeting with the assistants. And so he's going to start putting that staff together. And I'm telling you soon, like you may hear coordinator news soon. Tommy Prohaska, what's up, Coach? Go Bears. Let's see. Glenn Clark, I got to see it, Matt. You will fall out laughing. It was yummy. I don't know what that is. Jack Laverne, Michigan or Bama, the number 1. I think Bama will be the number 1. Yeah, see that? Chris Mixon, Levy likely to go to Oklahoma with Venables. Yeah, so Clemson's going to be, if Brent Venables looks like he's going to take the Oklahoma job, Dabo's going to replace his coordinator there, who's been with him during his run. Ryan Dixon, can you bring Shea Dixon in to give a recruiting update? Absolutely, we'll do that. I know Brian Kelly started making touch. So there was a lot of scuttlebutt that Brian Kelly hadn't called any recruits the first couple days. And my understanding, and I'll ask Shea to get clarification on this, my understanding is that there was some type of compliance rule where you have to wait 72 hours or something like that. So I know he has started calling recruits. And I will tell you this also. Ed Ogeron was at the Ponchatoula game on Friday and was at the Catholic game last night. And I'll tell you, Ed, because he's not a coach anymore, he's got no compliance rules or anything, he did talk to Jacoby Matthews at the game on Friday. And he's like, Jacoby's like, you got to be a Tiger. Bleep A&M. You got to be a Tiger. So, me tell, man, Ed still loves LSU, man. There's no doubt. And I know he's got an offer from Nick Saban to join his staff in whatever capacity. It's like, we'll find a role for you type deal. And I don't think he's going to do it, man. I don't think he can go work for LSU. I don't think he's going to go work for it. He is too much purple and gold, bro. I do not think he's going to go work for Alabama. We'll see. Matt Godwin, if we're going after wide receiver coach at Georgia and Golding from Bama, would they announce they're leaving in the middle of the playoffs? Maybe, Matt. Actually, yeah. That's not uncommon. When coordinators are getting better, position coaches are getting better jobs, you might announce that. You do see it. Or maybe you have a deal in place that won't announce it till later, sort of thing. Chernhauskis, what's up, man? Go Bears. Cases and cases and cases and cases. What's the right number of teams in expansion? I think 6. No, I mean, give me 12. Give me 24. Give me 18. Give me more teams. Give me a playoff. Give me a playoff. Like, why is this so hard for people to comprehend? We have a playoff in every sport. Every sport. But college football can only do 4 or 6. Like, what are we doing? Like, why is this? I mean, I have to go through this so many times. I'll do it again. All right, let's say we have a 12-team playoff. Would anybody be opposed to okay, this is obviously before yesterday. If you go to 12-team playoff, would you be opposed to Georgia, BYU in Athens, Michigan State in a playoff game in Ann Arbor, Alabama against Oregon in Tuscaloosa, Cincinnati against Baylor in Cincinnati, Oklahoma State hosting Ole Miss, Notre Dame hosting Ohio State? Like, who would be opposed to that in a playoff? Like, what are we doing? Why are we just subjectively selecting 4 or 6 teams and no, let's have a playoff. Let's have a friggin' playoff. Now to water down the regular season, bullcrap. It'll make it more important because more teams, if you have 2 losses, you're not done. I mean, Wake Forest is 10-2. No, they're ranked 16. They went into that game yesterday. They would have had a legit shot at making a playoff yesterday. Wake Forest doesn't belong. Says who? You? How many? We had 68 teams in the basketball tournament. Upsets are great. They happen. Should we only have 6 teams in the basketball tournament because we have the subjective feeling about who should? Oh, basketball is different. Why? We know Duke and Gonzaga and UCLA are better than Liberty, but upsets happen, and you get the thrill of making the playoff and something you play for. Like, why is this hard for people? Like, y'all been brainwashed. You've been brainwashed to think it's got to be this way. All the sacred regular season. College football has the most meaningless regular season. It's literally the only sport in the world where you can win every game you play and have no chance at winning a championship. Drives me crazy, y'all. No, Caleb Brignac. The right number is as many as we want. Give me 32. Give me a 10-game regular season, a 32-team playoff. Get rid of all the crap games nobody wants to see. Get rid of LSU Central Michigan, LSU ULM, LSU McNeese. Nobody wants to see it anyway. Give me a 10-game regular season, 1 Power 5 non-conference game, and 9 conference games. Give me a 10-game regular season, expand the playoff. Give me that instead of force-feeding me LSU and McNeese in front of 60,000 people just so you can cash a gate. Y'all are brainwashed, man. No, butt dial king. Brian R., good morning, Matt. Do you think Austin Thomas stays? Brian, so I'll put it to you this way. I've told you all this all along. Austin Thomas was a Scott Woodward hire, okay? Ed Ogeron did not bring Austin Thomas back. Scott Woodward brought Austin Thomas back. If Austin Thomas does not stay, then it is abundantly clear that this is not, that this is 100% Brian Kelly's decision. Like, that Brian Kelly has carte blanche to do whatever he wants to do because Austin Thomas is back here because of Scott Woodward. Gulf South, morning from Vail. I guarantee you Cincinnati puts up a better game versus Bama than Notre Dame or Michigan State in the playoffs. I'll disagree. Cincinnati will get absolutely housed by Alabama, and I'll actually watch it and enjoy seeing it. Let's see. Casey Andrus, morning. I think Michigan can beat Georgia, especially if Bennett is their quarterback. I don't know about that, Casey. That's the type of game where I think Georgia's defensive front 7 would overwhelm Michigan. Survive 623, good morning. That was fire. Fake slide was the play of the year. It's gonna get dudes blown up, I'm telling you. Juan, can Lane Kiffin win the SEC at Ole Miss? Nope. How did Georgia lose that game, dear God? Mogo, morning Matt. And Tigers from sunny Central Florida. There you go. Ultimate Warrior, what's up? Kevin Cloud, what's up? Man, we are behind on comments. My bad, y'all. Has Georgia ever won in the new Mercedes-Benz Dome? Mercedes-Benz Stadium. When they won, yeah, they won the SEC championship there the year they played Bama in the Natty. Right? They won the SEC championship. Right? 2017? Whoops. '17 SEC championship game was Georgia Auburn, wasn't it? And Georgia won it. Yeah, Georgia beat Auburn 28-7. That was in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Yeah, I think that was the first year of the stadium, and then they played back there in the national championship game and lost to Bama when Tua came in. Wow. Let's see. Brian Russell, 18 playoffs, smaller schools need that money. Brian Russell, I don't care about the smaller schools need money. That is the point you're missing. It is not the Power Five's job to fund smaller schools' athletic departments. That's not the reason you're in existence. That's not why you exist. It's on the smaller schools to do one of two things. Budget properly. Don't pay coaches $1 million when you can't afford it because you're spending over your income level, or go create your own organization. But that's the problem. The reason the Group of Five exists in the Power Five or in the FBS is for that reason alone. That is a sole purpose. They have no legitimate right or chance to compete for a championship, but they stay in it because of financial reasons. And it's ridiculous. Like, go create your own little football world. And it's going to happen, by the way, because ultimately the Power Five is going to break off and create its own structure. Like, that is going to happen with Power Five autonomy. And they're never going to play the small schools ever again. We're heading there. I do not care about, like, it is not LSU's job to make sure that ULM funds its athletic department. It is not Georgia's job to make sure that Georgia Southern gets $1 million payout. It's not. But that's the structure that's been set up, and fans are total sheep, and you all have taken this hook, line, and sinker and just accepted that this is the reality, the way that it's supposed to be, when it's absurd. Like, you're the ones being played. You're the ones being made to care about games with 40-point spreads and paying face value for tickets, like for games you don't want to see. They are abusing, they are taking advantage of your loyalty to your team. Just assuming, oh, they'll buy that ticket, they'll pay to park, they'll buy the concessions. Stupid. Anyway. I gotta go to church. Bundy Loftus, strength coach, needs to be legit. Yeah, I was told that the person they're hiring has never been a Power Five, a head strength coach, though. So I don't know the name. Sorry, but I was told that the person that Brian Kelly's hiring is, you're going to replace Moffitt with someone who's never been a strength coach? That's bold. By the way, YouTube, smash that like button. 424 watching, only 112 likes. Let's get the likes up, please. Facebook, like the page, share the post. Remind you about Brock, Batters Orthopedic Clinic, of course. The after hours clinic is open, and they have all of the subspecialties. So whatever you're having issues with, there is an orthopedist at Brock that can help you. Locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area, but the main location inside the Surgical Specialty Center, that is where the After Hours Clinic is open today. So if you're watching some NFL and your fantasy football team loses and you run into a wall in disgust and you dislocate your shoulder, go to Brock. And of course, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. If you, someone you know, friend, family member, neighbor, driving to New Orleans yesterday, you see Laplace, Kenner, that whole, like just on the right of the interstate, all the blue tarps still there. If you have a blue tarp, you know someone who does, you need help, give us a shout. HudcoRoofing.com, HudcoRoofing.com. If you have your scope of work, maybe even have a check already from your insurance company, we can help. If you're having trouble with your insurance company, we have people on staff that can help get your claim approved. We can supplement it for you. Just let us go to work for you. HudcoRoofing.com. We have materials, we have crews, we're ready to roll. HudcoRoofing.com, HudcoRoofing.com. Hit the contact form right in the middle of the homepage. Okay, I think we're done. Y'all have an awesome, awesome Sunday. Enjoy the NFL. We'll know bowl destination after today. So we'll look forward to it tomorrow. And Caleb, sorry I asked. Matt is blue blood about the college football playoff. I am, Adam. I am. Like, I don't need to see group of 5 teams. Go do your own thing. Go do your own thing. Anyway. All right. We'll see y'all later. Have an awesome day. Peace. Go Bears.